Neon Sanctuary arc. Kale watches the holofeed stutter back to life across the city's public screens. A woman stands at the center of the image, wrapped in medical white eyes to still Lira Vale, the symbol, the Meridian Enclave once polished and silent. She returns to Eden Sector, a vertical garden city owned by the biotech conglomerate Verdant. After surviving the sublevel games, an illegal corporate punishment arena disguised as rehabilitation from the towers. Eden looks serene. Glass vines, artificial sunlight, orchestral wind. Inside, it hums with surveillance. Kale only sees fragment security footage he shouldn't have. Lira, waking mid-scream, her hands shaking as drones approach, her breath hitching when the lights dim. Verdant's director, Eamon Cross, is always close, too close. He blocks exits with his body, answers questions for her, touches her shoulder whenever she speaks too long. In private feeds, Lira barely speaks at all. Kale recognizes the signs. He's seen survivors hollowed into mascots before. Eden Sector celebrates her return with floating banners and curated interviews. Cross frames it as protection, gratitude, safety. But Kale notices the locks appear on her doors. The guards double. Her access band is downgraded. At night, Eden's artificial dawn flickers. Lira stands on her balcony, staring down at the smog-choked city below, like she's considering the fall. Kale marks the time-stomped jaw tight. She isn't healing. She's being preserved like a relic, sealed behind glass. The Lumen Accord, the contract activates without ceremony. 1 week per cycle. Mandatory service. No negotiation. Kale doesn't meet Lira in person at first. He sends a drone-sleek obsidian, haloed with soft blue light, to escort her out of Eden Sector through a maintenance corridor that smells like rain and rust. Her hands tremble as she signs the biometric seal, but her eyes sharpen. She expected worse. The shadow city of Lumen unfolds beneath the megastructure streets, layered like circuitry, alive with holographic constellations and markets that never sleep. Music leaks from open windows. People laugh openly. No guards flinch when Lira walks past. Kale watches her from the crowd. He doesn't approach. Not yet. Lumen's inner ring gathers that night. A strategist with augmented eyes. A street medic who never asks questions. A silent courier whose shadow moves before he does. They don't bow. They don't stare. Lira is given a room with a lock she controls. Kale finally meets her on a rooftop lit by artificial stars. He doesn't touch her. He explains the rules once, then leaves space for refusal she doesn't take. Training begins slowly, consent coded into every protocol, choice embedded into every decision. For the first time since the games, Lira sleeps without sedatives. Kale notices the change before she does. The way she starts standing straighter, the way her gaze lifts from the ground to the horizon. Kale oversees from the periphery as Lira learns to inhabit her body again. She trains in neural resistance, how to block corporate command signals, how to recognize implanted fear loops. Her mind fractures at first. She cries in the sim room, rips off the headset, vomits into a drain. No one forces her back in. The next day, she returns on her own. Physical combat follows. Not brute force precision, redirecting weight, using momentum, turning panic into motion. Kale watches her fail 100 times, then succeed once. He marks that moment carefully. One night, during a citywide blackout, Kale finally tells her the truth. Not as confession, as context. He had engineered the sub-level game's collapse from the inside. He had worn the mask of a villain to dismantle the system without triggering mass retaliation. People died anyway. He carries that weight, visibly metal graphs along his spine, a consequence of staying connected too long. Lira listens without interruption. When he finishes, she says only, "You gave me a way out." The distance between them changes after that. Not softer, sharper, charged. Kale feels it when she looks at him, not gratitude, not dependence, but recognition. Two weapons forged differently, pointed at the same enemy. He steps back deliberately. Choice must remain real. The war algorithm intelligence fractures across the network. The sovereign protocol has been activated. A corporate alliance plans to erase the autonomy zones entirely, sealing the lower city and rewriting citizen identities via neural broadcast. Verdanth is at the center. Kale moves fast summits in abandoned transit hubs, encrypted deals struck in the dark. Lira attends by choice, not as symbol but as strategist. She sees patterns others miss. She understands compliance from the inside. Footage surfaces of Cross announcing a partnership to ensure Liar's safety. The lie is smooth, his smile practiced. Lyra doesn't flinch. She asks Kale for access codes. In one brutal sequence, they infiltrate a data spire together. Alarms scream, drones swarm. Lira disables a kill switch with shaking hands, breath steady despite the chaos. The city holds its breath. Kale realizes then the war won't be won with firepower. It will be decided by who controls the narrative and who refuses to be owned. Verdanth deploys peacekeeping forces. Lumen goes dark to survive. Lira stands in the command room, light from 1,000 screens reflected in her eyes. She isn't the girl who came out of Eden Sector. She's dangerous now. Alignment, the bond doesn't announce itself. No prophecy, no biological marker. It reveals itself under pressure. Pinned down during a raid, Kale feels Lyra's panic spike through the shared neural mesh. Not overwhelming focused, she stabilizes him, grounds him. Their thoughts align seamlessly, like systems designed to interlock. Afterward, in the quiet, Kale disconnects first. He won't assume, he won't claim. Lira finds him on the observation deck, overlooking Lumen's artificial sky. She doesn't frame it as destiny. She frames it as decision. "I choose who I fight with," she says, and how. They establish boundaries, like battle plans. Trust is built through action, covering exits, splitting resources, calling retreats. Their closeness doesn't soften the war, it sharpens it. No ownership, No promises beyond the next move. The city pulses beneath them, alive and fragile. For the first time, Kale imagines a future not dictated by survival alone. No resurrection verdance strikes at the heart. Cross leaks Lumen's location to the Sovereign Protocol, framing it as a mercy operation. The assault is overwhelming. Skyfire EMP bursts, streets torn open. Kale stays behind to reroute the evacuation grid. Lira argues once then obeys the plan they agreed on weeks ago. The explosion doesn't kill him instantly. By the time Lira reaches the core, the damage is terminal. Systems failing, Kale's augmentations burning out. He smiles through blood and static. He doesn't ask her to save him. He locks the final gate himself. The city survives because he doesn't. Lira screams afterward. Not theatrically. Animal. Private. There is no power left to bring him back. No counsel to beg, no miracle, only consequence. Aftermath, not set up months later, Eden Sector falls not through sabotage but exposure. Lira testifies publicly, not as victim, as architect of her own liberation. The truth fractures Verdant's control. Autonomous zones gain recognition. Lumen is rebuilt without walls. Lira refuses leadership titles. She designs systems instead networks that distribute power horizontally, impossible to hoard. At night, she walks the city Kale died for. Sometimes she looks up at the artificial stars he loved. Grief remains. So does choice. The war doesn't end cleanly, but ownership breaks. And that, she decides, is enough to begin.